I'm Elly.
Emmanuel.
And we are talking about innovation.
And technology.
Tuko rada na culture.
Niaje wase, tuko rada na culture and we are taking you on another tangent. We talk to a lot of people, but I don't think you've met anybody who does what our guys are going to be doing. So, first of all, I'm going to ask them to introduce themselves, then we can get into the whole story of inventing. Basically, we are talking to a couple of young inventors. I'll see you. All right, so allow me to start on that end. Just introduce yourself, your name, background, same to you, and then now we get into the other fun stuff.
Okay. Yeah, my name is Elly Savatia. I'm a 20-year-old inventor, tech optimist, and I'm the CEO of Sekani Tech.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yes, so my name is Emmanuel Mulengwa, and I am the CTO for Sekani and also a co-founder of Sekani. And yes, I am basically a tech enthusiast.
You're a tech enthusiast.
Yes.
How old are you, Emmanuel?
I am 21 years old.
You're 21 years old.
Yes.
All right, now we are talking about something which I find very interesting. Yeah? And just before we set the pace, I just want to understand, because you're actually inventors.
Yes.
So when we say inventors, what are we inventing as Sekani?
Okay.
Yeah, so Sekani, we are bridging the accessibility barrier, the communication gap between the hearing community and the deaf community. So this is the problem that we are solving, basically breaking the societal barriers that come with being deaf. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Now, this is a pretty tall order when we're looking at, I think we were talking about solutions that can create inclusivity. Basically, I think the phrase you guys used was nobody to be left behind.
Yes.
In this world that we're talking about.
Yes.
But again, I can't help noticing, guys, you're 21, you're 20. How does one even start having these discussions at the age of 20? I mean, it's quite impressive to me. I mean, I've worked in technology, but at the age of 20, how does one get to the level where they're confidently able to have these discussions? What are your backgrounds as far as technology?
Okay, so as for me, I can say maybe as a kid, I have always dreamt of having maybe like a company or something that is just basically building things and like that. So as I grew up, I started having that ideas of yes, I am building, but for what, for why, like things of such. And then now I started now having these ideas of like trying now to focus on things like solving a problem. So it's more like first I try just to identify a problem somewhere, and I try to see maybe how can I come up with a solution around it. And basically just by building something, because I really loved everything about electricity. Okay. So just connecting things and things like that. So also like in high school, this I'm doing like the science congress things and things like that. I was just trying just to come up with the projects. It was more like when I see a problem, it's more like it ignites the innovative part of me. So I was just
as
like,
far as the technology.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I'm not even going to talk. I've known Elly a long time. So the question I would ask, I mean, how do you move from solving a problem to it becoming a technology solution? Because not all solutions are really technology driven, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah. So how do you get there? I mean, do you wake up one day and say, I'm going to start programming, I'm going to start doing this, I'm going to start wiring things together? How do you move from solving simple problems to understanding that technology can actually be the solution to these things?
So actually, like I'll put the case scenario for Sekani. Like first we did a lot of research just to understand the problem, interact with the deaf community, get to understand their pain points, empathize with them. Then we now start to ideate, then test, iterate. So you find that you're like that curiosity of like exploring different ideas and connecting them into one viable one that actually solves a real problem. Yeah.
Now, Elly, I mean, we've known each other some time. Now, Elly, now maybe for them, not for my benefit. How did you get from where we first met to sitting here and talking about Sekani? I mean, it's been an interesting journey, I think. Yeah. Kidogo tu.
Yeah, so Steve, we connected Upper Hill
Yeah.
in 2017,
Yeah.
if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. And but then I think I was working on, actually it was on accessibility. It
Yes.
was a
I remember
robotic
the wheelchair
staircase.
solution. Yeah.
Yes, yes, it was a robotic staircase for wheelchair users to help them gain access into entrances and spaces. And yeah, it's been just the same journey from then, just that curiosity and that being open to problems and looking at them as opportunities to actually make the world a better place.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, interestingly, how did the two of you meet? Because I didn't see you at Upper Hill. So how did
Yeah.
the two of you meet?
So yeah, this is something maybe interesting. So there's an organization called GMIN. Their office is actually here, Global Minimum.
Okay.
So they normally focus on empowering young high school students, or maybe just recent graduates from high school, who have innovative ideas that are solving social problems, and then they have like some sort of competition where you apply, and then they take 12 of the best projects for a 1 week boot camp.
Okay.
Yes. So I participated in it in 2018 April, and then so after that they normally have like other opportunities that they offer to the alumni who are there.
If I could ask, what kind of problems were you guys asked to solve at that time?
So
Because I imagine you were
yes.
fresh out of high school.
Yes.
So what kind of challenges? Because I feel this could be it could be of interest to other people who are looking at venturing into the
Yes.
kind of technology space you're looking
Yeah.
at. So
Yeah.
again, just if you're at liberty to tell us what
Yeah.
kind of challenges get posed to you, and what kind of solutions actually, were derived from those challenges at that point.
Okay. So they normally have, it's more like a free kind of space where you just come with your own solution in any problem that you see. Maybe it's around you, or maybe something that maybe you have noticed. So like for me, I came up with a project about electricity, because I was
okay.
yes because I was seeing like there was this thing like power rationing and things like that, and I wanted to understand what is the root cause of this. So I came up and see, yes, like now in Kenya, our main power supply is normally from hydraulic, this for water. Yes. And I came and I tried now to understand, okay, what's now the problem? Because so it happened that sometimes the water level goes down, which really affects like the electric being yield there. So I tried now to bridge that thing, to make sure that whether the water level is high or low, the electric production is still the same.
Okay.
So I came up with some sort of pump, which was called the hydroelectric pump, the high pump. I call it the high pump. I designed it like that just to make sure that it pumps the same whether the water level is high or low.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that's the project I applied with for Global Minimum, and I was selected as one of the 12 projects and went for the 1 week camp. So normally after that they offer other opportunities, like maybe scholarships or maybe recommendation in other areas or things like that. So they had one which they normally partner with another American organization called First Global Challenge,
Yes.
which this American organization, it holds global robotics competition annually, once every year. So they are partnering with GMIN. So now GMIN, they are the ones who are selecting the team that will represent Kenya in that robotics competition.
Okay.
Yes. So basically, as a GMIN alumni, they offer that opportunities to us. So we applied, and they took 4 of those projects. So I happened to be four of the people who actually applied, and I happened to be them. So we started building the robot and went for the robotics competition in Mexico.
Was that the two of you?
No.
Those are different.
Oh, that's a different.
Yeah, this
Wow.
is 2018, when he was now, I think, in high school, Form 4.
Form 4, yeah.
Yes. So immediately after that competition, that's when I got a Facebook message from Elly. asking.
Elly's like that. Yes.
Yeah. So he said that he was part of Jimin now in December of 2017. And for me, I was now for April 2018.
Yes.
Yes. So he said that he was part of Jimin 2017 December. And he really wants to be part of the robotics competition for the next year, which is now 2019, because now we're in 2018, so now in 2019. So yeah, and I was like, okay, that's really good. I will tell you when the application is there.
Okay.
Yes, and that was like our first conversation.
I don't know, Elly's like that. So, Elly. So from your side, because I think the one thing I've been following with a lot of interest, Elly, has been you've had a few milestones. I mean, I've been seeing the Yali stuff and all that. Will you tell us about that? Because after that, I think now we'll go into Sekani itself. Because at least I want guys to know who they're dealing with.
Yes.
Yeah. So what were your milestones after that? Because I remember the last time we met, I think physically, I think I haven't seen you since high school. So after high school now is when I started seeing the stuff that you are doing out there. What were you doing at that time?
Yeah. So actually, after connecting with Emmanuel, so I applied later for the 2019 team, the robotics team, and I was part of the robotics team, and Emmanuel was also there. He was now the technical mentor.
Okay.
And we used to have conversations in this same garden, actually, right here. We used to have conversations, and we kind of like had similar interests, solving problems, stuff like that. So we would actually explore stuff, make applications, stuff like that. Yeah, and we've taken part in other multiple programs. There's Yali, there's the Global Teen Leaders program. Aside from that, we've also been involved with the UN and stuff like that. Yeah. So just there was a day that we were just exploring AI and stuff like that, and we had this idea of using AI to translate sign language. Then after the robotics things happened, we would now go around the country training robotics to students. And repeated occasions we interacted with the deaf community. And it was like kind of like an aha moment for us, because like the only option we had to communicate was like just to write on paper, then gave that feedback, that. Yeah, so this happened like repeatedly in Migori. We go to Garissa, Homa Bay. Yeah, then we were like, I think we need to get into this, involve them, do research, and bridge this gap that we've identified in this community.
Okay. So that is where now the whole Sekani discussion started.
Yes.
Okay. Now we have tumeguzia juju. What is Sekani and how does it work? What is it? What is this thing that we have been talking about all this time?
Yes. So Sekani, it's a tech company that is focusing on bridging the communication barrier between the hearing and the deaf with no need of the hearing understanding sign language.
Okay.
Yes, so we are leveraging machine learning, artificial intelligence, those things, neural network, because all we're trying to do is to augment the human receptive skills to a software. Yes.
Yeah. You're making it sound very simple.
Yeah, because another thing is that it is really interesting that everything about technology is just how the human brain works. Like your brain can remember things, so all you're trying to do is to have maybe, how can I have that kind of memory to something else?
Yes.
And that's how, like, it's just more like that. Like you find even at some point you can find some maybe like automatic vehicles, or maybe because they can see and maybe they can move around without maybe hitting anything. All they're trying to do is just to focus on how do you as a human move around. How do you recognize this is a tree? How do you recognize this is a road? How do you recognize such things like that? So it's more like just to try to copy how the human brain works and try to replicate the same to a software, because a software now, and this one now, you can actually design it in a way that it has no faulty or things like that.
Okay.
So it's really interesting.
I remember my my ancient courses in this stuff, I think there was always some sort of challenge with, trying to map the way we can mimic the way the human mind works. Because I always remember this example of how would we move from here to there.
Yes.
For a human mind, you could come up with 100 ways. Jump, you could crawl, you could run, you could then come back. There's so many ways. But when you're doing that for a computer, or should I say, for a sort of artificial intelligence, how complex is that? How much information do you need to feed this thing to get it to the point where it can actually start understanding
the environment? Yeah, it's actually interesting that one thing with computers, they understand nothing but numbers. Yes, and another thing is that they don't know anything that they haven't been fed with.
Been taught.
Yeah, been taught. So they know nothing unless you teach them or you train them. And the only way is through maybe numbers, because you have to make sure everything comes back to numbers. So like for the example of sign language, how we're doing it, maybe it's like for some signs like this, we take like the photos and all like that. Then we have to get like the pixels because the photos, they're all made from pixels out of like 3 things: red, green and blue. Okay. Yes, so we have like to get all the pixels of that, then they have to be translated, and then we code them, we train it, and then now it can understand. Once it sees like the arrangement of the pixels in this form, it knows this is this. It can pick up that pattern as like a hand. Yes. But again, you have to summarize everything, because there is a lot of pixels like in that one photo. Yes. So that's again, it brings us to high school matrices, because you have to narrow it down to like one column like this, so that you can really understand.
I've been seeing people saying matrices to the fundation.
Yeah.
This stuff is useful, man.
Yes, it's in vectors, the vectors, everything like that. It really works. Differentiation, because you have to use differentiation to actually to simplify this a matrix to one column like this. Yeah, and actually have like as few information as possible, but still very very accurate. Okay. So that you don't really have to feed the computer with a lot. Just something very simple, so that it can really simplify it and act very fast. So once it sees this photo, the math happens, and then it knows, this is this. Then now it can give an output.
Now the thing, because I remember I was asking, because everybody's hand may look different. I may have been born with 5 fingers. I may have lost a finger, due to an accident or a deformity of some kind.
Yes.
And now, how do you get to teaching a computer that is still a hand? Let me use the word a computer. How do you get to teach it that this is still a hand? That even if you're short 5 fingers or you're born with 6, how do you teach it that this is still a hand? Those are the things which I'm thinking about more practically in terms of usability for anybody who would actually encounter the system.
So I think there's one thing which is very interesting with the computers. There's a way like you can train it. Like if I take a photo of maybe my hand and I take like different photos, like 5 or so, then I give it the 6th photo, which is different from all the others. It will somehow be able to actually relate to it, because there's this part of mean appreciation. So it's more like it is trying to relate to it with some sort of, we say, confidence, because it will look at this and then it looks at this. So it actually knows this is my hand, but it doesn't know maybe this side. But now it can try to detect, because it's more like, okay, there's some relation in some way. So it will give some confidence. Maybe this is also a hand, maybe like for like 50% accuracy. This is a hand. So it has that confidence. Kind of confidence. So so it's not more like accuracy, but it's more like confidence. But now if you feed it now with a lot of them, then now it can become very accurate with that.
Okay, so the more sorry, again, I'm going to use the more the more you teach it or feed it, the more it is able to actually pick out stuff like hands and all that.
Yes, and the more you feed it with the right data.
Not just any data.
When I get here with the basketballer's hands, big hands, this is a problem.
It really matters, because sometimes maybe you can take like photos and then it's like maybe the photo I may have taken, it's not like accurate. Maybe I may have taken a photo from here, and then you feed it with that.
Yeah.
So it will only know the hand starts from here.
Exactly. That's what I'm looking at.
So you have to
lots of,
you have to
hands.
take and nicely accurate. So there are normally two ways. You can either take a lot of photos of hands and train it like for a very short time, or you take few photos and you train it for a pretty long time.
So which one did you do?
It depends.
The photos or a mix of both? What's the best approach?
We've had like different phases. At first, we actually took a lot of photos. Well, how many were they?
87,000.
87,000.
Just for the alphabets.
Yeah, that was for the alphabet.
Wait. You see now the problem is you said you were taking photos. You're just going around asking people to show your hands. Right?
No, we did it by
We did it
ourselves.
ourselves. We did it ourselves.
Oh,
We did
okay, photos of your own
ourselves.
hands.
Yes.
Yes. We tried that one.
Yeah.
87?
Like for the first 87.
That was our first
1,000.
prototype.
Oh, okay, how do you do? Okay. how do you do 87? I just want to understand. As in, is it 87,000 of the same image, or 87,000 different ways of looking at the image? How?
So it was for the alphabets.
Yes.
So alphabets we have 26 alphabets, and then we added 3 others, like maybe a sign for nothing, a sign for space, and a sign for delete.
Yes.
So those are 3 more. So those are 29, and we had now 3,000 photos for each
letter.
For each alphabet, and for each for the delete, space, and nothing. So 3,000 photos. So 3,000 times 29 gave us 87,000 photos.
Okay, and I'm going to ask something else, because again, we could also again be featuring the hands themselves. But what about the environment? Because we could have been taking these photos in a very nice background, with a black background, well lit. But again, you see there is different, should I call it saturation levels in terms of
Yes.
light in different
Yes.
places.
Yeah.
You might find a place where maybe you are doing it against a white wall. Here we have flowers of different colors and all that. So how again do you teach this guy that this is a hand and not, something else?
Something else, exactly.
Some sort of alien thing. How do you teach him? And again, I'm keeping it fairly high level. I'm not at your level again.
Yes.
But how do you teach him that this is a hand, and to ignore whatever is actually flowing behind him?
So normally when we do data annotations, that's when like you are trying to label this data, and then the labelings, they get translated now in pixels like that. So when you're trying to draw those boxes like this, we only focus on the hand to make sure that the computer will only focus on the hand, that the background doesn't really matter, the environment. So there's that approach. And another approach is that we turn these photos to grayscale. So we make them to be grayscale. So the color and anything doesn't really matter. So once it gets like like the photos like this colored, so then it will change them now to gray, and then now it can do all the multiplications there and everything, and then it gets the answers. So that one, once it is in grayscale, the color doesn't really matter.
Okay.
Yeah, because for us, for the sign, for the signs, color doesn't matter.
Okay, good point.
Yes.
Good point. So you don't have to fight with
So we don't have
millions
to.
of colors that we have.
Yes. So we just make sure it's in grayscale to simplify everything.
And let me ask, I mean, when you're looking at how many pictures had we seen? This is a lot of pictures.
That's when we started. Yes, that's when we started.
By the time you
We
finished, how many
did
of
that.
these pictures did you have?
We did that. But now, the good thing is that we normally focus on finding like the shortest and still the most accurate way to do it. So after a lot of research, a lot of trial and errors, a lot of failures, and a lot of things like that, we came up now. For now, we can use for the alphabets, for the 26, we can only take 10 photos of each. That's 260. But then once we train it for 5,000 steps.
Okay. What is a step?
So it's more, I can say it's more like how you train it, like it goes through each and every photos, each and every pixels, and each and every label, because it knows, okay, this pixel, the label is this one. This pixel, the label is this one. This pixel, the label is this one.
I get you.
Like that, for each and every photo and each and every class.
Literally every pixel in an image.
Every pixel in an image is analyzed, but we normally simplify it in a way that with some, okay, it's not like simple code, but with some codes, it actually simplifies those pixels to one line.
Okay.
One line of only four numbers, 4 digits, and they're all less than 1. 0 point something, 0 point something, 0 point something. And that's when, like now I was saying, like the matrices, it's more like you form a whole, you write like the differentiation and the matrices kind of calculation in codes. And then now it simplifies these pixels to like one line, and then now that one line is the one that you use now to train this model.
Okay, I think I'm getting it. So basically, it's like this code you're talking about is like a calculator. Basically, you feed it the information, and this is what is.
Yeah. It has like 2 backends. The first backend is that one for simplifying the data, and the next backend is like now training it. Then also it has another backend of now like giving out the output.
Now, before you do this, let me just ask my last question along this line. For a system like this, because I mean the demands must be, from the way it sounds, we're looking at the computing and the demands in terms of space and storage, like for all these images. How do you host this system? I mean, is it some sort of cloud system? Because it sounds like it is very system heavy, or have you found a way to make it not system heavy?
Yes, we found a way to make it not system heavy.
Yeah, so that is the intelligence that is making your solution work a little better.
Yes, yes, yeah. Because another thing is that like the frameworks that we use, so we found a way like to make them to be light, because the first one that we used, it was very heavy. It was even lagging, like even if I sign something, it will take some time like to notice it, and then now compute it, and then I can feel like my machine
That's the thing. Imagine you guys want to run
like that.
some sort of books or something, man.
Like that, yeah.
The demands.
Yes, but now I mean, it's just a thing of just researching and trying to understand the solution around it. Because another interesting thing is that in every solution that you come up with, there is normally like a problem around it. So then you solve that solution, and the solution creates another problem. But as you keep on going like that, it will reach a point that you just have a solution that can be used like in various ways.
It's a sequence of solutions.
So like now it's so light, and there's a way even you can make it even lighter to be used even in mobiles. Like you can TF light, you lighten that model.
So at this point, is it like, can it run on a mobile yet, or is that something that is a future?
We're actually working on that. In 2 to 3 months, it will be available for the general public. Yeah. But for now,
as it is right now, it's running on computers.
Yes.
It can run on a computer.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So how do you pick it out? Like the webcam or whatever? Guys, probably interesting.
Yes.
You're not keeping up.
It's like the webcam, yeah, because it's this side of machine learning that's computer vision. So it's all about the webcam, the camera. It's more like now we're trying to make these computers what they're seeing to actually interpret the environment.
Okay, that is good. Now, at least we have a clue in terms of what it does. My expectation being that, I do the science, I don't know the science, but I'm expectation is that I do the science and it is going to talk to the other guy. Or the other guy who's doing the science will put up the science, and then it will translate it to normal speech.
Yes.
On my side.
Yes.
So how many languages have you gotten so far? Are you using some libraries or something? Is it only English at this point?
So we have a sign language for Kenya, which is Kenyan Sign Language, KSL, yes. And there are normally over 139 sign languages all over the world. So there are so many sign languages around.
dialects.
Yeah, dialects. And so now in Kenya, what we're focusing on it's like our own, the Kenya Sign Language, the KSL, that's what we're focusing on, and we're working with a couple of sign language interpreters and also the deaf individuals. Yeah, to help like in the collection of those data and the videos and everything as we do the signs.
Can I ask, what kind of support are you having? I mean, I know that there was, the organization you have mentioned.
Yeah.
But who are you partnering with beyond that? Because again, clearly, this is, I am assuming none of you is deaf
Yeah.
Because you can, but the fact
Yes.
is, what kind of support are you getting, like from the deaf community, from maybe from the community at large? Because again, this you need a lot of help in terms of information to create something that will be useful in the society. What kind of support are you getting from these guys?
So the deaf community, we definitely have to collaborate with them so that we can tailor a solution that actually specifically meets their needs.
Yes.
So for them, we are currently even partnering with them to collect data, sign language data. As my colleague had mentioned, we had collected sign alphabet, but now we're like doing, our end goal is to actually facilitate a normal conversation
Yes.
between someone who's deaf and someone who isn't. So we're collecting videos of them signing the parts of speech, then it comes into a sentence. Yeah, then just generally we are also having conversations with different stakeholders in the community, because like communication is literally one of the most important aspects. For you to access financial services, you need to communicate. If it's healthcare, you need to communicate.
Yes.
So we are having different conversations and dialogues with these communities just to understand what specifically they need so that we can avail a solution to help them make their services and activities accessible to this deaf community.
So now, have you been able to practically have the solution being used? I mean, like, have you had situations whereby, there's a deaf guy, signing, and you on the other hand are actually able to have that two-way communication? Is it there yet?
Not yet.
Yeah.
We're still training this thing and we're still collecting more data so that we are working like with the first batch of datas, and then we train it and then we see how it actually works. But for the proof of concept, we just worked with the alphabets and trying to form words also with the alphabets. Like they call it finger spelling. So it's more like a finger spell. Like for example, to say hello, you spell like the H, E, and then the L, O. Yeah, so that's what we've been doing.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. No, but still, I don't think it's a small. It's a small thing you're doing. Eh? I mean, it's not. It's not. And has there been interest, from I would say the communities at large? If you're looking at the technology guys, if you're looking at the health guys, is there interest in what you've been doing so far? Have you been talking to them at this point?
Yeah.
Yes. We've had we had recently had a conversation with a doctor, and he was just explaining to us how the situation is. Like, imagine a deaf person going for health services, and they have to open up.
Yes.
Most of the time maybe through a sign language interpreter, and there's confidential information in between, so there's that sort of privacy. So you find that they really value trust as a community, and that is one of the jobs to be done that we are addressing as a company. We've also had conversations with stakeholders in the STEM ecosystem, and they actually want to make their content more accessible to the deaf community, leaving no one behind.
Yes.
And we are actually looking forward to test it with them in our initial piloting phases.
So when are we piloting this? When? I know it's always a tough question for something that is as because I'm seeing it as a very large, a very ambitious project.
Yes.
But what is your timeline like in terms of the proof of concept and so on?
15th August.
15th, yes.
15th of August.
15th of August, that's our target.
Excuse me? That's next month.
Yeah, that's our target.
That's next month.
Are we on track? You'll make it?
Yes.
Yes. We're doing that daily to make sure we're there.
No,
every time.
Believe me, I really wish you the best.
Thank you.
I think it's going to be an amazing breakthrough.
Yes.
And it's going to be something definitely worth celebrating. So I really wish you the best.
Thank you.
Now let me ask, what's the future for Sekani as a company? Because of course, is Sekani the product of the company?
Sekani is the company.
The company.
But we have a bigger vision, not just all things technology.
Yes.
We actually are social enterprise.
Okay.
And our goal is to make the world and help the world become more accessible to the deaf community.
Yes.
So even aside from our technology, we have like plans of actually in September,
Yes.
we'll be rolling out a program to equip deaf students with knowledge and skills in innovation,
Wow.
entrepreneurship, electronics. We're actually right now identifying schools and planning that. So like we just want them to be and feel like just even make them more self-reliant.
Yeah.
So specifically the deaf community.
Yes.
Yeah, because we also came to realize like some two other things. One is that sometimes like you find it's not that the hearing person doesn't want to associate with the deaf, it's just that they don't know how to relate to them.
True.
They don't know how to relate to them. Even like the government and everything, it's not that they have ignored them. They just don't know how to actually involve them.
And the tools to integrate them.
They don't know how to talk.
Yes.
Literally, yes.
Yeah.
So we are having like also a part of our site of where it's basically just about research, just about the deaf, informations about these people,
Yes.
who they are, sign language, how did it
Deaf
start, the
culture.
history, like everything, just their culture and everything about them. So we're trying to have these kind of researches and trying to organize such kind of information just and make sure it's there in the public so that even like you can know them, you can know where they're coming from and everything about them.
I'm just amazed.
Yeah. And also another thing, the second thing that also came up to notice, it's that when maybe there's a pandemic like now, or maybe there's a challenge somewhere or a problem somewhere, we never get to hear from the deaf.
Yeah.
We only come up with our own meetings like us, the hearing people. We try to come up with a solution and problems and things around this and all of and such. The deaf, they're just there. We don't get to hear them. So we want to create that opportunity to make sure that we also hear them. That's why he was saying the things like workshop, innovation labs, of things of that sort. We also want to get that innovative part of them. We also want them to come up with the solution, business ideas and things like that. We want to involve them, to empower them, because even like our main aim even is not just the tech, although the tech is the tool that we're using to get to them, but it's not like our main focus. Our main focus is to make sure that they're there. Like they are everywhere. Like even
Their voices, their ambitions, their concerns are out to the world.
we want to make sure they are heard.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, guys, I would say this has been a serious education. Take me back to college, and I appreciate that. But I think for the rest of us, I really applaud the fact that at such a young age, you have such a grand vision, and I think that's an amazing thing. Now, let me ask you something, because there's a lot of guys like you right now who are your age, who are busy saying there are no opportunities in this country, and I don't think it's a Kenyan thing. It's a thing where everybody's saying, Serikali's idea, there's no opportunities, there's no this, there's no that. And from the sound of the way you guys are talking, you sound like people who are actually building from scratch. Literally, it isn't that someone was opening any supernatural doors for you. Basically, you're doing the hard work.
Yes.
How would you encourage those guys who are coming out of high school with the mentality that, it's only gambling or quick shortcuts or crime or stuff like that? This one I have to ask because this is your age group.
Yeah.
What would you advise them for the guys who are going to be coming out, let's say, the guys who are coming out from high school this year, and the guys who have been out for a while and they're complaining that there are no opportunities? What would you say to someone your own age?
Yeah. I mean, like for us, what we normally just focus on is our passion. Like, and I normally see like once you know what you want in life, like once you get that, once you identify like maybe your talent or your passion, something that you are interested on, might be tech, might be music, might be football, might be anything. I mean, if you just focus your mind there and just make sure that you do it and make sure that you go for it, I mean, you will definitely get there. The thing is that the road, it's never straight, it cannot be straight. So the thing is that once you know your destination, where you want to be, you just go. You might find traffic, you might change routes, you might find a flat tire, you might find maybe the road is blocked, you have to turn and go other ways, like you have to go, but you're heading there. You have to make sure that you get there. So that's normally our drive, to make sure that that's where we're going, because even as for us, like it has not been easy, because you can see we started in 2019 there. end of 2019. And at some point, like, you find like there are other challenges that you come about, because even we started writing codes with no computers.
Yes.
His laptop was faulty.
Yeah.
Mine was totally crashed. I didn't have
actually
a
writing
machine.
code on a tablet.
So yeah.
Wow.
And even that tablet came later because
run the
our
code.
thing were like
So the
in
tablet was
books.
an upgrade.
We started in notebooks.
Notebooks.
We had codes and we had like flowcharts
Yes.
of how this thing should run.
On
We were just
paper.
researching and having calls even till 2.
4 in the night.
We used to say like masaza wachawi. So we used to have like that and write
a whole
in
story.
notebooks and write in books like this, in notebooks, our flowchart and everything, our journey, and how the system should work. Then late last year, it's when I got access to a tablet. So I started even writing codes to a tablet.
On a
So
tablet.
from a notebook,
To a tablet.
you upgraded to a tablet.
Tablet.
Yes.
We started writing to a tablet.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
code
even
would
like
run
the
overnight.
87,000 photos were being run on that tablet. That tablet, like now, it can't function without a charger plugged in.
Traumatized it, man.
I mean, it was all about that until I think
beginning of 20. What was that?
I think
the beginning of 2021.
yeah, the beginning of this year. It's when now we got a machine, and that's now
Beginning of this year.
yes.
Yes. The beginning
So
of 2021.
I mean, like once you have your passion, once you know what you want to achieve, whether you have the resources or not,
Yes.
just start doing with what you have. For us, we had a book and
Figure
a
out a
pencil,
way.
and that's how we started.
You guys, these guys are the Zuckerbergs to hapa. Elly, what does it take? And again, this is more for the benefit than for mine, because at least I've had an idea of how you come from. What does it take for you to be sitting right now at 20 as what I would call a techpreneur at this point already in your life? Of course, I mean, there's still a long life ahead of us, but we're saying at this point, what kind of things do you need to have in you for you to be doing what you're doing now?
Passion.
Other than persistence.
Other than persistence.
I tell you, Elly can push you, man. I'm going to tell you that right now. Elly can push you.
What it takes, I mean, the hours you have to invest in whatever skill. Let's say if it's entrepreneurship, you have to invest the hours in
Yes.
to understand the business. You have to do the research, stuff
Yes.
like that. Yeah, it just needs you to, like, as for my colleague Emmanuel and I, we usually say like it's either it works or it works.
Yes.
Wow.
But it has to work.
It will work.
At least you have two choices.
Yes.
Yes, and it's working.
Yes.
Yeah. So I believe like if you're passionate about something and you have an end goal,
Yes.
high chances you might pivot in between, you might change direction, but if you have like an end goal, it's really possible to get it.
Yeah.
Kujituma tu.
Kujituma
Kujituma.
kabisa. Yes.
Yes.
Alright, guys, and I think for us, man, we really wish you the best.
Asante.
And we really cannot wait to hear what will happen after August 15th.
15th.
Man, we are rooting for you. And
Yes.
I guess we will be talking more.
Yes.
We will be talking more. But guys, we really wish you the best.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you
thanks
so
for having
much.
us, man. We are happy to have the clean air.
Yeah.
See you tujazoea hii maisha.
This is where we started.
Yeah,
Robot
actually, this
building and
right
everything.
here.
I've been building it from
Yeah. It actually like carries that history.
here.
I mean, the literal
This-
codes
this
you are
place.
writing, you are writing those codes sitting around here.
Yes.
Yes.
I salute you. All right, thanks guys. Tumeshukuru. Okay. Out.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Thank you. I'm Elly from Sekani, CEO.
And my name is Mulengwa Emmanuel, and I'm the CTO for Sekani. Na tuko rada na culture.